Coach, obviously this is the one that kind of defines a lot of people see the season, this run. What have you said to your guys right after when you're huddling up with them?
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to simplify stuff. Like we feel like if we take care of the ball, make our layups, make our free throws, we'll be all right on offense. On defense, we got to be locked in. I think we played hard enough to win these last two games, but we didn't win them. Our offense hurt us a lot, the turnovers. But, you can play hard and still not be locked in on the defensive end, flying around, making dumb mistakes and fouling, still gets you a loss. So we've got to play really hard like we did, but we've got to add some layers of some execution on the defensive end, and then we got to guard without fouling. So, kind of three things on both sides of the ball. It's take care of the ball, make our layups, make our free throws. On defense, let's continue the effort. That's a winning effort, but we got to show some IQ, execute our plan, and do it without fouling.
You said after the SEC tournament last year, your team just wasn't locked in, and that's what it takes, as you just mentioned. Have you seen a different mentality this week at practice and maybe before?
Yeah, I think our guys realize, and you try to tell them, we knew we had an NCAA tournament bid, so if you lose in the SEC tournament, you still got another game. If you lose now, it's done. There's no other games. So if you can't get locked in at this point, I don't know what it would take to get them locked in, but I do sense a little bit more sense of urgency in practice than maybe what we've had. Some guys realize the end is here if we don't clean up some of these little things that we need to clean up.
What do you think has kind of led to that downturn in the free throw shooting lately?
I mean, I think when you're locked in, you're locked in. I think when you're worried about the wrong stuff, you're worried about the wrong stuff, and your mind's cluttered. You walk to the free throw line, you're thinking about everything you shouldn't be thinking about. When you're locked into what you have to do to win the game, you're focused on whatever it is. When you're on defense, you focus on defense. When you're on offense, you focus on offense. When you're step to the free throw line, you're focused on what you need to do to make a free throw. And some of it's, I think some guys maybe put a little too much pressure on themselves. No, we just need you to make the free throw to help the team win. You don't need to, focus on what you have to do for yourself. That backfires as well, too.
Are you enjoying the kind of fly today that you can kind of settle and see that game tomorrow? Is that
Yeah,
nice?
It's a lot better. We get in there a day, settle down, got a gym to shoot at tonight, then we'll lock in tomorrow, have a practice, then be able to watch the game, see who we're playing, already been there for a night, then adjust to the time change a little bit, adjust out there, get settled in, and then figure out who we play. We're trying to prepare for both teams as if they're the only one we're preparing for, but you can't completely do that. So once we know who we're playing Wednesday night for sure, we'll go all in on that team.
What's the atmosphere in the room when the team watches this game? I mean, are they going to be note-taking, or you just want them to have fun and enjoy it? Or
to be honest with you, the staff will probably watch it together. We may even split up, watch it offensive side, defensive side. The players, most of the time, we just let them watch it in their room. We're not trying to make them. We'll gather them together later that night and review the film on that team. Now today we showed Notre Dame film. Yesterday we showed Rutgers film. Both days in practice, we had a segment of Rutgers and a segment of Notre Dame. The staff was ready for both before we practiced on Monday. But, tomorrow we'll do a little mix of both. Probably some cleanups from our first 2 days of practice, how we're guarding the stuff. And then, obviously, Wednesday night after the game, we'll meet and we'll have an edit put together already of whichever team it is ends up winning and playing. So we've already given them some video on each team.
You have a lot of guys that made a big run last year. How big is the experience for them to help the younger guys in the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I think it is big because it's a different deal. Last year was a little different with the bubble. You're not flying to different sites and having a full arena. So it'll even be new for the guys that have experience last year. But to have an experience in a loser go-home game like we did, even though it was in the bubble, is still a big deal. Quinterly played really well in March. Shackelford's been in the games. We had 3 games. We had a tough one against Iona, played really well against Maryland, and then, obviously had the tough loss in overtime against UCLA. But those guys have 3 NCAA tournament games under their belt. Keon Ellis, Quinterly, Shackelford, Juwan Gary, Darius Miles. We've got a group of guys that's played in big games like that. I think it'll definitely help in that regard.
You mentioned Shaq. Do you think he's a little excited to be going back to California?
Yeah, you know what? Probably. His family's out there. He grew up out there, not too far from San Diego. So I'm excited for him. I think he's excited. I think, be special shooting. If we win 2 games, we get to stay out there in California, so that'll be fun.